Introduce myself. My name is Madeline. I am 18 years old, born and raised in Hawaii. I have been homeschooled for a good portion of my life, about 8 years to be exact. And I was invited to speak here today because someone felt that I had a passion that was worth sharing with all of you. And while I do feel that I've put myself completely into my art and my photography, I feel that the journey that led me to where I am today contains something much more valuable. One of the greatest things that I've come to realize is what an amazing gift it has been to understand the importance of passion, the importance of finding passion, and then contributing that passion to the world. Imagine living your life day after day. You go into work to do a job you don't even like for 8 hours a day. You look forward to every break, and after that break's over, all you can think about is how much you hate what you're doing right now. You go home, have a couple hours of downtime, maybe catch up on those episodes of that one show that you missed. You go to bed, you wake up in the morning, and you do it all over again. That is a life completely devoid of passion. Now imagine waking up in the morning, but you're not going to work because you love what you're doing. Because you love your job, it changes your perspective on everything. That is what living a life of passion that has been pursued should feel like. And you do have a choice whether to pursue your passion or not, but honestly, which life would you rather be living? As kids, we all think we have an idea of what it is we want to be when we grow up. I mean, as kindergartners, who didn't want to be a veterinarian or a firefighter or a ballerina? But those weren't passions, those were careers, and not even ones that we had chosen ourselves, but ones that we had heard that other people wanted to do, so we wanted to be those too. But the passions that we had then and now weren't occupations. They were the things that we loved doing. They were the things that we loved doing. When I was as a kid, I was never the person that picked up a paintbrush and people looked and said, that girl is going to become an amazing artist. No, I was that kid that couldn't color inside the lines to save my life. I wish I could say that changed right away, but it really didn't. I've always been more creative in my way of thinking of things, but I have always struggled with trying to find my passion. I was never in that group of people that had an amazing gift right at the beginning to help guide them in the right direction. Not many people get that pass go card that lets them off the hook of trying to find their passion. And what makes it even harder is it's not something that's stationary. Our passion is always being influenced by every new experience that we have. And if you're having as much trouble as I've had, there's one solution. Just try everything new. It might seem like a daunting task when asked to pick one thing that you love, but a much easier way of going about trying to figure out what that is figuring out what you don't love. Just try everything. I can actually remember the exact moment that I decided to start taking control of my life. I was sitting on my bed, I had just finished my homework, and I knew I should have been content with what I was doing, but I wasn't. And I couldn't figure out why. I mean, wasn't I doing everything right? I got good enough grades, I played a sport, I had friends, but it just felt so empty. And I couldn't figure it out. I mean, wasn't I doing everything I was supposed to? And after doing the exact same thing over and over, I would still ask myself, what am I doing wrong? Looking back, it's a lot easier to see how silly of a question that is, because how could something be more obvious? But back when I was bouncing around in the little bubble of my comfort zone, there were questions that baffled me. What was I supposed to do? Why weren't the answers just falling into my lap? Why couldn't I get excited about anything? How was I supposed to make huge life decisions like colleges and what to do for the next 4 to 6 years of my life without even knowing what I liked, let alone trying to find my passion? It was like everything was closing in and my opportunities were getting fewer and fewer when I knew that they should be doing just the opposite. It was right then that I decided to make a conscious decision to change what I was doing. I decided to take every opportunity I could get my hands on. And it felt like a whole new world opened up. Opportunities sprung up everywhere simply because I kept going after them. And I kept going after them, and it was amazing. In no time, I had 3 part-time jobs, all of which in things I had never even considered trying. I was becoming more involved in school and church. I was trying new things with my art. I picked up photography, which I now consider to be my passion. It's one of the earliest things that I've done. But I would be lying to you if I said that it wasn't completely without failure. Because I was diving into everything that interested me at all, I decided to try music. I picked up flute and joined a youth symphony program, and I can honestly tell you, walking into that building on my first day, I was the most scared I had been in my entire life. And to calm myself down, and I think we all do this a little bit, I kept telling myself, well, I can't possibly be the worst one there. But you know, someone has to be the worst. And guess what? I was the worst one there. Did I spontaneously combust? I'm still here, so I'm still alive. And I think learning that lesson that not being good at something isn't the end of the world is one of the most valuable things that I've gained from any experience. Realizing that really frees you. It frees you of the fear of failure. And what makes me laugh even today is after a whole summer of being the worst at something, I went back the next year. I think out of all of the experience that I've had, that's changed my perspective on what I was trying to do with my life and how I was going about pursuing my passion. One thing that has really encouraged me as well is that there isn't just one thing that you can do with your passion. There are so many different ways to channel your passion and to turn something into something that you love. One of the most influential people in my life that has demonstrated this is one of my bosses. She has a degree in journalism. She was a researcher for many years. She was a fiber artist that made paper and fabrics. She started her own clothing line and designed fabrics for interiors. She made a business out of bookbinding. She became an expert in calligraphy. She experimented with catering, and now she turns chocolate into an art as a master chocolatier. So whenever I feel constricted, like there's just one thing out there for me to do, I think about her and all the different ways she's been able to let her passion flow out into different occupations. She really feels that everything that she has done up to this point has not been a waste of time and has contributed to where she is right now. When someone asks you, what do you love, it inspires a very specific answer. For me, yes, I guess I would say that I love art and photography. But take a very similar question. What makes your heart happy? A very different answer might be given. For me, yes, art and photography make my heart happy. But down to the very core of what makes me happy is making things. I want to create something, to take something that wasn't there before and to make it real. It doesn't matter what your passion is or what you enjoy doing. As long as you're contributing your gifts to the world, you're doing your job. By making something that wasn't there before is what my nature calls me to do. And I know that as long as I'm doing that, I'm fulfilling my job. So let me leave you with this. Passion is something that can be defined as something that you love, as something that gives you excitement or enthusiasm. Living a life that pursues our passion is important, and finding and contributing our gifts to the world is one of the most important things that we can do with our lives.